No, we did do it, yeah. I talked to them and they were so they'll be coming up soon, yes.
Good evening. How was dinner?
Delicious.
I can claim no credit for it, but I am thankful to be a recipient of it. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Stephen Hartle. I am the high school youth minister here at Corpus Christi through Nature of Fire. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I am so honored and so thankful to be able to not work with your kids, but to be able to share our faith together. You have incredible teens, and I mean that. Like, I'm not just saying that. My brother and sister came and they helped me one of the first nights that we had youth group, because I wasn't sure which adults to call, and I knew they had their clearances, so I had my siblings come help me, and they met your teens, and they were like, that is an incredible group of teens. No one was excluded in the group. They brought each other in. We were jumping on trampolines, we were having a ton of fun, and it was just neat the way that it was beautiful to see the way that they encountered one another, the way that they even just played together. It was a really joyful experience, and my siblings recognized it right away, and they were like, you have a beautiful group here. And that was early on, the more time I've spent with your youth, the more I see not just their own strength, but I see the strength of the parish as a whole. I see beautiful faith, and it makes me think of St. Paul whenever he's talking to Timothy, and he says, you have the faith of your grandmother Lois. And I see that in this parish. I see grandparents with their kids and then their grandchildren, and you see this flow of faith, and it's such a beautiful treasure that is in this parish. And I am a beneficiary of that, and I mean that genuinely. I don't want to talk too much because we have a couple teens, because I do. Tony's making fun of me because I always talk too much. Hey, when I get this mic, it's mine, Tony.
Turn it off, Tony.
He's pretty far from the power.
You're right, I'm way up here.
It's getting serious. With that, I'm going to invite our first teen up. I'm going to invite Grant Logan. His family is one of the first families that welcomed me whenever I came to the parish. I reached out and I was like, maybe we could meet sometime. They're like, let's do it. And we had a beautiful conversation. I felt welcomed right from the beginning, and I've just been so blessed by their family. So I'm excited to introduce Grant Logan.
Hello, my name is Grant Logan. I'm 16 years old and I'm a sophomore at South Ann High School. I've been a part of youth group for a few years, starting with middle school youth group up until now. I'm always very busy with school and swim, but I always try to make time for youth group because I know there will be lots of games and lots of faith. A typical night starts off with free time to eat or play whatever games we want. Pool, ping pong, basketball, etc. Then we have organized games and talk about our faith or go to adoration. We end with more free time. At school, I have a regimented schedule. The same goes for swim. At youth group, even though I know Steve will have a plan, he builds in free time to have fun with friends. Plus, I know my traditional values will be affirmed, and I don't have to worry about being indoctrinated into an ideology I don't necessarily agree with. I've had a lot of great experiences and bettered friendships with great people. Sometimes my friends from other parishes come because of how fun our youth group is. Over the years, the youth group has gone ice skating, gone to Simmons Farm, done paintball, and we're going bowling on Sunday. This year, we started something new, and it's now my favorite thing we do at youth group. We challenged the Resurrection Parish youth group to games. We played them in kickball in the fall, and we crushed them. Yeah! And then, played them in volleyball a few weeks ago, where we crushed them again. And we're currently working on scheduling a basketball game against them next, where we're going to crush them again. So we'll be 3-0, so that's good. And we even practice for the games during youth group, and it helps us build team chemistry. It's cool to have the opportunity to hang out and compete against other high schoolers from another church. I'm thankful that our parish has made youth ministry a priority, and I'm looking forward to continuing on my faith journey. Thank you all for listening.
Told you they were amazing. All right. Next we have Sydney Pugliese, and she has said some things that I'm like, where did that come from? She has a gift for words, but I think so much more. She has this incredible connection with the Lord, and you put those two together, and it's super powerful. So I'm excited to introduce Sydney Pugliese.
Hi, I'm Sydney Pugliese. So I know some of you may have heard me talk about youth ministry before, maybe at the Dinner from Rome or the Under the Lights talk last summer. And the thing about youth ministry is that it just keeps giving. And that I have more stories to tell you. You're in luck. To start, I want to define what youth ministry is to me. Now, Google said that youth ministry is to be able to connect and engage young people with their faith. And I would agree with that. But to me, it's more specifically about young people taking control of their own faiths and their own ministries, and being able to spread and share the love of God with others, no matter how young or old. Every day, I see how youth ministry affects me and others, spiritually and mentally. I was just talking with one of my friends today, actually, and she shared with me a story about how at her workplace, she encountered an upset man who was upset over a small miscommunication. And she told me this: instead of yelling at him like he had yelled at me, I just said, "Okay, have a great day." And I realized that without my faith, I wouldn't be able to do that. I was so moved by this conversation because it's such a small act to be able to dismiss somebody's rudeness towards you. And I see just what kind of faith she described every day. The Lord gives me the grace and the patience and understanding that I wouldn't have without my faith and without my ability to take control of my own ministry. I am able to walk with God's love, and ultimately, that allows me to be able to be what people need, especially in a high school setting. Something I've had to face that is inevitable as a high schooler are the effects of the teenage life society really wants me to follow. And sometimes it's hard to be proud of the faith I've cultivated when that's simply not acceptable to a lot of people. So when I get to connect with other students in my youth group and share the same thoughts and the same energy of just being able to be on fire for the Lord, it truly makes an impact. Youth ministry is so impactful because it creates lasting connections, especially those connections with an individual and with God. I'm so truly blessed to have a thriving and living youth group to fuel my faith. When young people talk about this faith that they've chosen, it's more than just a statement being made. It allows people to recognize that God speaks to everyone, and that the youth will soon be the adults leading our church. One experience I want to share is when our youth group teamed up with another parish. Grant talked about this. We played kickball. We won.
I believe it was crushed then.
Sorry, crushed. We got together with Resurrection Parish to play kickball, and I actually ended up calling it aggressive kickball. I did get injured. I am okay now. It was a beautiful connection of the parishes where we got to share in faith and ministry and really just have a fun time with other people our age that we don't normally interact with. And while I was there, I met a girl named Lily. She was wonderful to talk to, and we shared in our faith. But further into our conversation, Lily told me that her parish didn't really have an active youth group. And that made me so sad to hear because when my faith is trying and I lean on those around me, especially my youth group, it fuels my life. When there's a lack of connection, there's a lack of community, and even more, a lack of faith. And there was a lack of connection in her parish, which is why we continue to reach out and plan things with the Resurrection Parish, because we want them to have what we have too. That's why we have youth ministry. We need connection. It's in our nature to connect with one another. And by simply extending an invite, extending an idea or a helping hand, it can go a long way to make someone feel loved and welcome, and for them to want to be here today with us, sharing the love of God. Another experience I want to talk to you about is a time, actually not so long ago, where God was an obligation for me rather than a relationship. This is when I first came back to youth group. It wasn't a pretty process, and it took me a while. I was too busy, too tired. There was too much going on in my life. I had too much work. I didn't know anyone there. It took too much energy. It was just too much. I was making excuses. Elijah would come home and talk to me about all the good things that happened, all the events, who was there, and all the fun. And suddenly I would want to go. But the next youth group came around and I did the same thing. I made excuses. Then all of a sudden, he starts talking about this Cody guy. I don't know if any of you guys know Cody. He's great. He was new and he just started working with Stephen, yada, yada, yada. Cody this, Cody that. He would not stop talking about Cody. So my curiosity got the best of me, and I finally gave in. But it wasn't me just giving in. It was me surrendering myself over to God, even if it was just for a moment. It wasn't immediate, but something started changing, especially with the warm and excited welcome I received when I got to my first youth group. My mind knew what was waiting for me all along, but until my heart acknowledged the same thing and the same information, I couldn't have an open heart to accept God's love. Soon, fall retreat came around, and because of a less than satisfactory experience I had at another camp, I chickened out and didn't go. Then, winter retreat came around, and just so happened the same weekend I had a sleepover planned with my friends. We had finally scheduled something, and we could all get together, and I was so excited. When I heard that winter retreat was that weekend, I said, I already have this planned, I can't go. But as time went on and the people going to the retreat were hyping it up and getting excited for it, I started to doubt my ability to make a good call. Do I cancel on my friends and go, or do I stick to the plan that I already had? I was even hatching a plan to go later in the weekend and have my dad drive me down after the sleepover. In the end, my dad was on a retreat that weekend, and I didn't go to winter retreat. All this to say, the Holy Spirit was working in me when I was wrestling with myself about who to choose and where to go. After that moment, I made it my goal to become more involved in the youth group. And today, I'm so lucky to be called a leader of the youth group, where I get to plan the events and invite more people and spread the ministry. I didn't want to miss out anymore. I didn't want to miss out on the Lord. I went from always thinking I was too busy until I wanted to be busy for the Lord. So tonight, if I could leave you all with one message to remember, it's that youth ministry invites connection and community and love and faith. And that if you seem to be making too many excuses, maybe try to engage with a little youth ministry. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Grant. Again, thank you to all of you. I wish that you guys could be there. I wish you guys could be there for our regular nights, for our fall retreats. I want to share that when I come back from these things, my wife notices I'm different. And I think I've shared this story, but like at this point, like I'll come back from a mission trip or something, and my wife will notice that I'm in a better mood, that I'm a better father whenever I come home. I've received grace, and then I share it with my family. And so now when I'm cranky at home, she's like, you need a mission trip. Yeah. I don't know how she always turns those things into digs, but no, I'm so, and I mean what I say. I wish you guys could be there. And what I want to leave with a few things. One is, this is a really competitive group of kids. I thought I was competitive until I came, and I was going to say, there are a few kids who have more than given me a run for my money. I've lost so many things. The other thing that what I really want to hit is what they share, and what they talked about is connection. What they talked about is encounter, and there's both the encounter with other youth, and there's encounter with Christ himself. And I really truly wish I could have recorded last night's conversation. So last night we had our core night. This is a smaller night. We have some games and things, but the idea is to share our hearts about some topic in faith. And usually our conversation's like maybe a half hour. I keep it a little short. I don't want it to be too heavy. But last night I just opened up with, guys, what do you think the heart is? The human heart. What does that mean to you? And we went for about an hour and 15 minutes. And the things that they shared were so incredible. We talked about the brokenness of the world. Annie shared something so beautiful about, she's been pondering how, people are broken because of the fall. But she was looking at the natural world and how it's also broken because of the fall. And kind of reconciling it and wrestling with that, because all of that affects our hearts, right? So she's sharing in that. Haley was there last night, and she said something about suffering that was so profound. She was saying, we need to be grateful to the Lord for the positions he puts us in, even if it includes suffering. This is from your teens. These are things that the hair goes up on the back of my neck, and like, God is in this room. God is speaking through your children. Your faith is alive and well. And I am, like I said, just thankful to be a part of it. I am, I guess the last few things that I want to share with you are, I want you guys to experience it and be a part of it in a very real way you can. No matter what, anybody in this parish can pray for these teens. And please don't underestimate how powerful that is. Please pray for the teens. They are the treasure of our parish. They are the future of our parish. I would also ask that if you know anybody who has a heart for teens, you heard the impact that Cody Breinsteiler had, and I want to give a shout out to Cody. He has been amazing. Yes, please. He has this beautiful way with the teens where he just shares his heart. He's wide open, and it was so beautiful. He's recently engaged, and you should have seen the response from the teens. And not just the response from the teens, but what it did to his face, the smile that he received on his face. You can see there's a sharing again of lives, a sharing of hearts, the rejoicing together. This is our faith. we are so much stronger together. Christ prayed that we would be one, as he and the Father are one. That's pretty tight. It doesn't get much tighter than the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And he's calling us into that unity. And so I just want to encourage you, if you can pray for our youth, if you know somebody who is, we're growing, and so I need more adults to be involved. If you know somebody in their 20s or early 30s who would like to be involved in youth ministry, I would love to talk to them. So please keep an eye out for me. And the very last thing that I want to leave you with is we have an amazing church that we're part of. And I want to encourage you, I don't care what age you are, this time of year is such a beautiful reminder what a glorious faith we have. We come through this season of Lent where we're suffering. And we're suffering for the Lord. And then we come out of it into this incredible time of celebration. I want to encourage each of you to fully live your faith. What a beautiful gift we've been given. And I want to encourage you to continue to share that faith with the youth of this parish because it's bearing fruit. Thank you so much.
There's some flyers up there. Invite people to the next stop.
Oh, yes.
Stack of
Oh, my
flyers
goodness. I
behind.
forgot all the things we're doing.
You're doing great.
Thanks, Tony.
You know what you're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. As was mentioned, we have bowling coming up for the teens. If you know a teen, please encourage them to go. This is free. How crazy is that? I don't know of any other parish sending teens bowling for free. Please tell teens to come. They can email me, they can call me, any way that they can run up and tell me they want to come. And I will make sure there's a spot for them. Katie Grella put this together for middle school and high school youth group, Carlo Acutis movie night. This is going to be awesome. Again, a celebration of our faith. We have so many people who have lived out the faith, so many examples, and this is a great opportunity for our youth to be inspired, to be shown that you can live your faith in this world. And in fact, it's an incredible adventure when we do. Middle school youth group has a trivia night. This is May 2nd at the Holy Child Youth Room. Katie does so many creative things, I think mainly to make me jealous and do a better job than I do. She always has higher numbers than me too. I don't know. And then May 4th we have the May crowning. What a beautiful, again, treasure of our faith. Please don't miss if you are able to attend. We have Wisdom, Wine, and Whiskey. What other church is doing this? May 9th. This is a date night, yes. Yeah, this is not for our youth.
Andrew was confused. He was concerned.
I don't want people to get confused. Yeah. I could see how there could be confusion there. I really want to highlight this one. This is Mission Trip. Again, our parish is amazing, and we raised a ton of money at Dinner from Rome. So again, thank you to all of you. I don't know of any other parish that's like, put a deposit down and go. And that's pretty much what our parish is doing. And so, ask any of these teens who have gone. This is a life-changing experience. This is something that I did want to talk about. All of the teens, what they said was, when I got there, I could be myself. See, talk to teens and see if if anyone feels like they can be themselves. Most of the time you ever talk to a teen, they don't feel that way. At this Catholic Heart Work Camp, there's a lot of prayer that goes into this. There are college students that run it, and they are faith-filled people. When you get there, they're jumping up and down to welcome you. And from that moment, these teens knew that they were welcome just as they were, with no strings attached. And the beautiful part was it was reciprocated by all the teams. There were like 250 teams. It's an amazing experience. So again, if you know of any teens, please encourage them. We still have spots, we still have room. So that is just, it's coming up, the deadline's coming up, but I'm gonna keep pushing. I will put people in as long as I can. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I didn't realize there were that many flyers on there.
There's Summerfest.
Young adults.
Yes, young adults, thank you. If I could read, yes. This is, it looks like May 22nd. There is, VBS is coming up. Again, Katie and the crew do an amazing job. I have been exhausted trying to keep up with the kids at VBS. It is so much fun. It's an incredible time, but more than so much fun, this is, if you talk to some of these teens here, they still talk about VBS. In fact, I had seniors last year still dancing to VBS songs. So it makes an impact and it lasts. And last but not least, this I think is a really beautiful trip and a beautiful opportunity. I think that the Lord put on Tony's heart to do. As you see, Father Fakes and Father Freedy are going to be on this trip. What a powerhouse team of people who love the Lord and see Him in nature. So if you love fishing, if you love nature, this is a guy's trip, right?
Yeah, it's for the dudes only.
This is a dude's trip. If you know of any dudes who love nature, but especially who love the Lord, this is going to be a powerful opportunity. So connect with Tony on that one. That's it. Feel free to talk, and thank you so much.
But first, I'm going to suffix this with a completely off-the-cuff, unrehearsed, and unsolicited testimony. As a parent. So aside from my own journey and what I may or may not have done for the kingdom, coming back into all this and trying to do life, married life, raise kids right, this ministry has completely blown me away. To hear my kids come home and teach me, right? I mean, you heard it, some of it yourself, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. That they are teaching me, that they are, opening my mind and my heart to seeing the Lord's love in not just new ways, but more in-depth ways. Depth of things that I already knew, but hadn't let it in. And this age is great for that. And this age is great for perspective. And the principal thing that blows me away about this parish is the cross-generationality of everything that goes on here. It's not just Father Dennis, it's not just Katie and me or Stephen or even my kids, it's all of us together. And what we do together at Corpus Christi is just absolutely magical. And so, really cool place to be. I guess that's all I have to say.
Anybody want more tacos?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so amazing.
You better get a couple more tacos.
Yeah.
No more here.
Yeah.
Must be when we get into something good part of it. It must be good if we get into
Where to God? I always ask my wife after did that actually make sense? Because I don't remember. If it was coherent, great. Yes.
That's a win for me too.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Now you talk to Father Michael about us freshman.
No, but I'm willing to correct one of my
Right.
Actually, went down the priest combat then.
Oh, goodness, that would be amazing.
God bless you guys. Great job, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring Frank up.
Oh my God. Very good. Thank you. Inspired me. Great life happened, and of course, bro. Of course. Make it happen. Push it through. With the diocesan end of things, and like we You're the spirit. Those run songs are pretty awesome. Nice to talk to you.
I'll see you guys. Oh, they got message. Oh, I didn't even see it. I don't Yes. She's the best. And I also like her. She's very. She does, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, see, I know it.